Hi guys, it's Heather, and today's class is focused on opening up the shoulders and the hips to prep for, yes, you guessed it, King Pigeon. If you have two blocks and a strap, go ahead and grab them beforehand. And before we get started, please take a moment to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps to support free yoga here on YouTube. Plus, you'll receive new free yoga classes here every week. And when you're ready, I'll meet you in a child's pose. So come to meet me in a child's pose. If you are not there already, go ahead and take the knees out wide, more towards the back end of your mat. Uncurl the toes and walk both hands forward, resting the forehead on the mat. Bringing your attention to the mat, or inward. And beginning to bring your focus also to your breath. Lift up the forehead, come onto fingertips with your hands, and slide your right hand underneath the left. So come to a little twist. Right shoulder is coming to the floor. You can even walk your left fingertips forward a little bit more. And if you'd like to close your eyes, whatever you need to do to enjoy your practice, do so. And slowly lift the head, the shoulder. Come to bring right fingertips to the mat and then slide the left underneath the right. Letting your left shoulder rest on the mat, left temple rest on the mat. And walking your right fingertips wherever feels comfortable for you. Slowly press yourself up with both fingertips. Bring the knees in just a little bit and shift your torso forward to come into Cobra. Fingers spread wide. Open the heart. We're at back bend. Engage the legs. Maybe look up a little bit. And then bring it back to that child's pose. Walk both hands to the right side for a slight side body stretch. And then walk them back to center first, and then both hands to the left side. Walk both hands back to center. Lift up the torso, the head, and shift the hips, everything forward, back to your cobra. Opening through the heart, sending the shoulders down and back. And then come to a tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips directly over the knees. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, draw the chin in, round the back. Inhale, open up through the heart, through the chest, and exhale, round. Inhale, drops the stomach. And exhale, chin in, back of the neck long. Now do a couple more of these in your own time. One more wherever you're at. And then come to a neutral tabletop. From here, you can grab your blocks if you have them. If you don't have any, that's totally okay. You don't need them. We're going to move into a puppy pose. So bringing both elbows to the mat if you don't have your blocks. Hands can come to prayer. And just shifting your hips over your knees. Bringing the chest down. If you do have your blocks, you can bring them out in front with me. Place them parallel to each other, and we're going to place our elbows onto the blocks in the same position, just to help us really open up the shoulders and prep for that King Pigeon pose. Melting the chest towards the ground, finding a position that's comfortable for you in which you can find a little bit of stillness. come up slowly wherever you're at. If you had your blocks, move them to the side. And come to sit down and bring the legs out in front of you. Feet flexed, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Inhale, both hands come up. Exhale, fold it forward. No need to touch your toes here. Wherever you're at is perfect. You can use your strap if you want to. Loop them around your feet and kind of pull yourself forward a little bit, gently. So if that feels nice, I suggest that. Or you can just maybe rest, palm face up. I'm going to leave you here for a little bit. Just letting yourself relax. With every inhale, maybe making the spine straight and a little longer. And every exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Use your hands to press you back up to seated. And then bring the right knee up into the chest. See if you can grab your big toe with your pointer and middle finger and bring the knee to the outside of your right armpit. Just to start to stretch through the hips a little more. And then maybe, if you're able to, wrap your arm around your foot. If not, you can stay there holding your toes in that position. And your right arm around the other piece of your leg and cradling it in your chest. Just gentle movements here. Drop the right sole to the floor. Keep the knee bent. Wrap the left hand or arm around your right knee. Right fingertips come behind you for a twist. And you can look back. Untwist, lay the right leg down, lift up the left knee, grab a hold of that big toe with your pointer and middle finger. See if you can bring your knee to your armpit or to the outside. And then bring your leg in. Wrap your right arm and your left arm around to cradle your leg into your chest. Lots of love to the legs. Bring the sole down to the floor. Knee stays bent. Wrap the right arm around the left leg. Left fingertips come behind you, and you can gaze back for a twist on the other side. Slowly unhook. Bend both knees, soles of the feet on the floor, and windshield wiper out the legs a little bit. Great. Scoot your booty up a little bit and take the feet a little wider than hips distance. Lift up your butt off of the mat, heels in, toes out, and come to a nice little yogi squat. So hands to prayer, pressing the knees out wide, or you don't even need to. You can take your fingertips to the floor if needed, if that's too much. This is a great spot too for a blanket underneath the heels if your heels are lifted. Find a little lift in the pelvic floor. Spine nice and long. And then fingertips to the floor. Lift up the hips from here to come into a forward fold. Point the toes forward so that your feet are now parallel to the front of the mat, hips distance. Enjoy your forward fold here. So whatever you need to do that, maybe placing a little bend in the knees or grabbing both elbows, swaying side to side a little bit. Inhale, hands come to shins, spine parallel to the floor or ceiling. And then exhale to standing. Nice and tall, grounded, feet grounded down into the earth. Bring the left hand to your left thigh and inhale, send the right fingertips up overhead. And you can place the gaze maybe up a little bit. Exhale to bring it down. Take it to the other side. Left fingertips rise up above you and up over to the right. And come back to standing. So this is a great place to grab your strap if you have it. If you don't have a strap, you could always modify with maybe like a belt or something similar that you might already have at home. Take it out wide. Hands are gonna grab it. Honestly, it's whatever distance works for you. I like to take mine about like maybe 2 feet from each other, or even a little bit more. We're gonna do what's called shoulder flossing. And let me show you this first one before we get into it. But we're basically going to be taking the strap up overhead and then back behind us, and then back up overhead. So if you need to adjust and bring your hands wider, if that feels more comfortable, I noticed that I needed to take mine even a little bit wider. You can do so. And if your shoulders don't go all the way back, that's okay too. If you can just go up to here, then just do little pulses here. Okay, so whatever works for you. We're gonna do maybe like 5 of these back and forth slowly in your own time. And one more wherever you're at. Great. You can release the strap, put it back to the side of your mat. And let's fold it forward. Fold all the way down. Back to that forward fold. Plant both palms. Step it back to a downward facing dog. You can always place a generous bend in the knees if needed. But keep the arms active, the ears in line with the biceps. And then drop the knees to the floor. Come to sit up, lift up the hips. You can curl or uncurl the toes. Curling the toes under will give you a little bit more stability. And bring your hands to your low back, fingers face down. Inhale to open up the chest towards the sky. Shift the hips forward as you lift the chest up. And now you're welcome to stay here if you want to take it deeper. Great modification is to always bring blocks to the back on either side of your foot. You can bring hands to the blocks here as you lift up your chest. Maybe rest the neck back. Or take it deeper. Wherever you're at, mindfully lift your torso back up. Move your blocks to the side if you had them. Plant the palms in front of you, send it back up to that downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up high, point the toes. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest, shift the shoulders over the wrists, and set the shin down for pigeon. Meaning that your shin is going to angle toward in front of you. Find a spot in which you're comfortable and in which your hips can be square. Point these front toes, point the back toes, Make sure, I'm going to go over all the modifications on this first one, and then I'll let you be on the other ones. But we're going to point the toes, point the back toes, make sure that your foot doesn't sickle out to the side. And I even brought my rolled up blanket today to show you one of my favorite modifications for this pose. So if your hips are off the ground, that's okay. You can roll up a blanket or a towel. You can place it underneath the hips, and it helps so you can rest more in this position. It's really about what will help you breathe better so that you can relax. So you can do that. If your hips are a little higher, you can also take your block, place it under your right butt cheek or hip. I say butt cheek because I have an 8-year-old son. But so whatever works for you. Let's all inhale to open up the chest a little bit towards the sky. And then exhale, maybe coming to forearms, folding it down to rest. Slowly lift up, press yourself up, palms come, shoulder width, curl the back toes under, lift up, back to that downward facing dog. First, and then inhale, lift up the left leg, point the toes. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest to shift it forward and set the shin down for pigeon on the other side. You can always also curl the back toes under if needed to readjust the hips so that they stay square to the front of the mat. Wherever you're at, inhale, find a little lift, and then exhale, fold it down, coming onto forearms. Use your hands to press you back up. Curl the back toes under, lift up the shin into the chest, and then back for downward facing dog. Slowly walk your hands towards your feet so that you end up in a forward fold at the back of your mat. You can take another moment in this fold. If you grabbed opposite elbows at the front, maybe grab the other side, so the opposite of that. And then slowly lift up to a halfway lift. Inhale, flat back. Exhale all the way to standing. So now we're standing at the back of our mat. Lift up the right knee into the chest. So we're placing all of our weight into our left foot. Bring both hands forward. Cross your right leg over the left. And then bring the right arm underneath the left. So either back of the hands together or that little extra twist. Squat down a little bit, so sit, sink down, and then lift up the elbows. And then untwist. Shake it out if you need to a little bit. Fun eagle pose just to counter some of the back bending we're doing today. Let's take it to the other side. So planting or shifting our weight into our right foot, lifting up the left knee, bringing both hands in front of us at 90 degrees. Cross the right foot over the left, behind the leg, bring the left arm underneath the right, and then sink down. Sit down, lower those hips, lift up the elbows. If you need to place your gaze at one point of focus, do so to help you balance. And then unhook. Shake it out again if you need to. And once you're all shaken out, fold forward. And then walk your hands forward back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up the right leg, point the toes. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest, shift forward, flex through that front foot, and then step it forward. Bring your right hand in to the other side, inside of your right foot, and heel toe your right foot out so that it's coming a little bit off of your mat probably. Sink the hips down, lower the back knee into a lizard pose. Option to stay here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, you can lower to the forearms. And breathe. Use your palms to bring you back up. If you were on your forearms, keep the left palm where it is. Inhale, send the right hand up and back. Lift up the back foot. See if you can grab a hold of it. Inhale to open up the shoulder first. Exhale to bring that foot in towards you. And gently release. Curl those back toes under. Heel toe your foot back in between your hands. Plant the palms nice and strong. Let's lift that knee into the chest first. And then set it down for pigeon again. So from here, we're going to try and shoot for our King Pigeon. So point the front foot. Find your nice normal pigeon first, wherever you're at. And go ahead and grab your strap if you have one. And if you need it for this section, lift up the back foot, grab a hold of it with your left hand, and see if you can loop your strap around your foot. Okay, nice and strong. What we're gonna do is flip our grip here. So turning the left elbow in and above, and grabbing it with both hands. And from here, you can look up and slowly begin to walk your hands down the strap to wherever you're comfortable and feel like that's your limit. Definitely don't go past your limit here. So, or if not needed, take your normal King Pigeon. And releasing whenever you need to release your grip. And going back to that normal pigeon. Gently release wherever you are at. You can move your strap to the side. Plant the palms, curl the back toes under, and then lift the knee up. And send it back for downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths. And then inhale, lift up the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, draw that knee into the chest, flex through the front foot, step it forward, heel toe that foot to the outer edge of your mat, and then drop the back knee, uncurl the toes. Staying here, or to take it deeper, dropping down to forearms. Slowly press back up. Leave the right palm where it's at. Inhale to take the left palm up and over. Lift up the back foot. See if you can grab a hold of it. Let's inhale one more time just to open up the shoulder first. And then exhale to draw that foot in. This is probably my favorite quad stretch to do. And then gently release. Coming forward, heel toeing that foot back in. Curl those back toes under, plant both palms, nice and strong again. Lift up the back knee, lift the foot into the chest first, and then set it down for pigeon. On the other side. Finding your pigeon, pointing the front foot, grabbing your strap and looping it around your back foot if needed. If not, take your king pigeon. And again, you can always skip these bits and just take the normal pigeon. Gently release wherever you're at. Plant both palms. Curl the back toes under. Let's lift up to downward facing dog. Take a big inhale with me. And then exhale, sigh it out. Drop the knees. You can keep the knees together maybe for this one. And come to a child's pose. I'm even going to send both palms back towards my feet. And the palms of my hands facing towards the ceiling. Use your hands to press you up to seated. Swing the legs, the feet out around in front of you. Feet flexed, toes pointed again towards the ceiling. We're going to go for another forward fold like the beginning of our practice. Inhale, lift both hands up. Exhale, fold it forward. Press yourself up to seated one more time. Bend the knees, shift the hips forward a little bit, and then come to slowly lie down on your back. Lie the left leg down on the mat. Bring the right knee into the chest. And then use your left hand to guide it to the left side. Right hand can come palm face up to the other side of you. You can gaze up or towards that right hand. You can maybe close the eyes here. That suits you. Unclench the jaw. Soften through the forehead, the cheeks, the mouth. And bring that knee into the chest. Give it one more hug. And then lie the right leg down. Let's switch. So lifting the left knee up, giving it a little hug first, and then using your right hand to guide it to the right side. Left hand palm face up, taking the gaze up or towards that left hand. And finding some stillness. Slowly come out of your twist. Bring both legs to either corner of your mat. Going to leave you in Savasana today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this open hips and shoulders flow and that you had fun working your way to King Pigeon. Have a beautiful day and namaste.